I got time, cuz. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. Yo, what's up, how gangster are you, cuz?
Hey.
I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me.
Whoop.
I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I
Go hard, cuz. Hey, you guys. I hope you guys are doing good today. I can't believe it's already Thursday. Time has been flying by. Let me make sure I got all my screens up. We have a lot of stuff to get into today. I hope everybody's doing good. I have been under the weather, but I'm feeling better. Oh, y'all got orange hearts and stuff. Thank you. I'm glad y'all like the orange. You know what I'm saying? It's a dress, too. It's a dress. So I wanted to wear something, you know what I'm saying, cute on camera. But I hope you guys are doing good. So let me go ahead. We got a lot to talk about. It's a lot going down right now. You know, just on social media in general. Of course, you know, there's always a Diddy saga. It's always some Diddy drama going on. But I've noticed a lot of other things that are going on too that I also want to hit on and address. Somebody was, okay, hold on. I had seen a super chat. Let me read that first, okay? So Blackity B1 Black sent $5 and says you have to talk about Gucci third leg, auntie. And I'm really glad you reminded me of that because I do want to talk about it. I was going to talk about it, then I forgot, so I'm glad you reminded me. So I was getting like some clips together. That's why it kind of took me like 5 minutes to get on because I was like, oh yeah, that was the other topic I wanted to hit on. So I'm going to save him for the end just because that's more sexual. But we're going to get on a lot of other topics. Yes, honey, somebody named Gucci third leg. Bitch, you couldn't sniff me with a name like Gucci third leg, but whatever. You know, these young kids, honey. So we'll get on all that near the end. But there's a lot of things I want to hit on here. Let me just make sure I have like I have a lot of screens open. So give me just a second here. Okay. Oh, before I get started, because people were asking me, people who missed the event, I do have 20 plaques, so I ordered extra plaques just to make sure that everybody who came to the Millie party got a plaque. So these are the plaques here. So if you want one, I have about 20 of them available. I'm going to put them on my website. They're beautiful. A lot of people really thank me about this. Emily had to fight with her son. Shout out to Isaac. He was like, that's my plaque. I'm going to have to send Isaac his own child. But whatchamacallit, so I have 20 left. So if you want one and you didn't get a chance to come to the party, you can get one off my website. I have to put it on the website first. It's not up yet. I have to have Ahmed get all that stuff done. Then I also had people asking if I have any shot glasses because I give good gifts. This is the shot glass I made for the Millie party. Tea Time Unfiltered, 1 Millie, Nashville 2024. Like, I give away good gifts to my subscribers. I don't play that. There's no more shot glasses. So, I'm sorry. All the shot glasses we had were taken. They were given away to you guys. So, I was able to save me one. You know what I'm saying? And even all the cups. I also had, like, clear cups that say you can't sip with us. I was able to get myself two. But, yeah, I don't have any more. The only thing I have are the plaques. And I only have 20 of them. So like I said, if you want one, I'll put it on my website. You can buy it. We'll ship it out to you. But that's all I have from the Millie party. So I'm sorry. But yeah, the gifts were wonderful. I'm glad y'all liked them. Let's see here. No, everybody who came to the event this was my present to them. They didn't have to pay for that. So I'm just saying, if I'm not about to sit here and ship out 20 items to people. So if y'all want the plaques, there's 20 of them because people are asking. They'll be on my website. You can purchase them and they'll be shipped out to you. But I'm not just about to be shipping out 20 plaques. So if you're interested, you can get one. But yeah, the shot glasses are all gone. So I know a lot of people wanted those as well. So just wanted to make that quick announcement for the people who are asking if there were any more, you know, items from the party. So that's all I have left. So now I want to let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk about all of the censorship that is going on with Jaguar Wright, okay? So last week we had this situation where she was on Piers Morgan, or maybe it was like a week and a half ago. But she went on to Piers Morgan and she was talking about, you know, Jay-Z and Beyonce, you know, dragging the shit out of them. And the very next day, you had the attorney who is also the attorney for the Tupac family to see if Diddy had something to do with Tupac's demise. So he's also working with Jay-Z. They didn't even send a cease and desist letter. They basically demanded that Piers Morgan redact all of the stuff that Jaguar Wright was saying about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And like I said in my last stream, you know, I do believe that a lot of the stuff that Jaguar Wright says is truthful. She was in the industry. But I do believe that, you know, in certain instances, she does add a little bit of, you know, sauce to the stew. You know what I mean? Just to make it, you know, just to liven it up. You know, she gets very animated at times. Her voice changes, you know, but I enjoy that. She's a good orator. She's a good storyteller. And I believe a lot of the stuff that she's saying is very factual. We know that the industry is dark. People have been saying this for years. Now, what I'm finding strange, now I said this, and I said, for me personally, I don't think I could have people on my platform that are tied to this case. I said this last week. And it's not that, you know, I can't conduct an interview. I've done interviews before. I think I'm a great interviewer. But for me, I just see the big picture. The fact that they're going after Piers Morgan to try and, you know, shut down what, you know, was being discussed on his platform. And Piers is a corporate entity. It's only going to be a matter of time before they start coming for us little YouTubers, especially the black section. And I've also noticed that they are pushing for more of these mainstream news outlets to interview like the fringe people, the ones that they wouldn't talk to normally. Who was thinking about interviewing Ray J before all of this? Ray J was never on like serious media platforms. You know what I'm saying? But now he's always on the Chris Cuomo show. Who was thinking about interviewing people like Suge Knight before this? None of these white outlets were thinking about interviewing any of these people. These people were meant for Art of Dialogue, Say Cheese TV, Real Life. I keep calling them Real Life Productions, but they're Real Life Street Stars. I want to get their YouTube name right. The Blue Couch people, as Jag likes to call them. This is where you saw a lot of these interviews. You know, they were coming to black platforms, black outlets, because people got tired of Vlad TV, aka Fed TV, and all his nonsense. And they were coming to these black platforms and giving black people an opportunity to interview them and give them a chance to tell their stories. And what I've noticed more now is that a lot of these white mainstream people who have been shunned from real, you know, broadcasting. Chris Cuomo, he had his own essay allegations, him and his brother. He got booted from CNN. Piers Morgan, he went crazy and got the top of my Meghan Markle. They booted him. So a lot of these guys have now ran to the internet because they're pariahs in the mainstream, right? Which is cool. You know, YouTube is for everybody. So now what I find interesting is that they're now trying to go into a space that a lot of black content creators created for themselves, which is giving a voice for the voiceless. Because ordinarily you would never see a Jaguar Wright. You wouldn't see a Suge Knight. You wouldn't see a Ray J on a CNN, a MSNBC, you know? And so now you see these mainstream folks trying to jump on it. So, and I believe like all of this is for a reason. I believe all of this is playing out for a reason. I watch a man named Ticket TV. I watch him for a lot of his sports stuff because he does like a lot of good sports commentary. You know, I enjoy sports conversations. And like I told you guys, for me, I enjoy the regular man and woman that makes content on social media. I don't watch Up in Smoke unless they're viral for some fuckery. I don't watch these curated platforms because one, like, they're stepping on regular people's toes. Regular people who have no backing, who don't have the mainstream, you know, NBA giving them these huge sets and things to say, or, you know what I mean? They don't have like these huge promotional budgets. So I prefer watching guys who are in their home just like me, and they're talking their shit about sports and giving their opinion because they have no real ties to the NBA or, you know, things like that. And so I would watch Ticket TV. He would do a lot of sports commentary, and I enjoyed that. And then he would also speak on like things with Diddy. And he's one of the few guys to me that was unbiased. Like he's not up here trying to make excuses for Diddy. He's not on no mushmouth nonsense. So the other day I was at the store, and so he was talking about LeBron James and Jaguar Wright basically dragging LeBron James because she had did like another interview, and she was, I think she was on the Corey Holcomb show. She did an interview and they were talking about LeBron and Bronny and how, like, LeBron is on steroids allegedly, and she was just popping her shit about LeBron. And so Ticket was talking about it, and Jaguar Wright ended up going on Ticket's platform. And it kind of turned into an interview. And so I'm enjoying it. I'm watching this, and they're talking, and I ended up, I'm listening to it while I'm in the store, and I come home, and so I ended up, watching on my television, and then I ended up getting like a phone call. So I put it on pause. I literally had 10 minutes left. Like, I had watched almost everything. It was like almost a 2-hour stream. And I had about 10 minutes left. So I'm on the phone talking to somebody. And so, I lay down, get comfortable, like, okay, let me finish watching the rest of it. And I hit play and the whole thing disappears. It says this stream is not available. Derp? And I'm like, hold up, what? So then I go onto his page and I'm looking for this stream. I can't find it. So I don't know. I went onto his page today. I've searched twice. It's not there. So I don't know if he privated it, if it got taken down. I don't know. But all I know is that the interview that he was doing with Jaguar Wright wasn't there. At least for me. Like I said, I went to hit play on my television and it said this stream is unavailable. And then it took me to somebody else's, video. And then I went to his page. I couldn't find it. And I only had 10 minutes left. I had listened to the whole thing. And he was doing a good job interviewing her. Giving pushback, asking real questions. And she seemed to appreciate it. You know what I mean? Then after that, all of a sudden, I get a pop-up. And I've never been on this page. I didn't know they had a backup page. The guy from Real Life Productions, he's on YouTube talking about they done took down his video. They gave a strike to their channel over Jaguar Wright. Let me go ahead and share this video real quick. So something strange is going on. There's something strange in the neighborhood. Something's going on. And it's not making any sense. So this is the guy from Real Life Street Stars. And so he's talking about how their channel is gone with the interview that they did on Jaguar Wright. So let's listen to this real quick.
What I want y'all to do before we even talk about the situation that's going on, I want y'all to call out, but it definitely was because of the Jaguar Wright content. Maybe it's Jay-Z, maybe it's Beyonce, maybe it's the Beehive, maybe it's Diddy, maybe it's Diddy's people, maybe it's Leo Cohen, maybe it's Kamala Harris, maybe it's Obama, maybe it's Biden. Who knows? Maybe it's YouTube. But either way, we got a strike, so therefore we're not going to be posting nothing on that channel for at least a week. So this is more so just a conversation I want to have with you guys, to where I want you guys to go over to the Real Life Street Stars Clips channel, as we are still going to be, of course, growing that channel.
Okay, so you guys, you heard what he said, that they basically got a strike on their channel because of the Jaguar Wright interview, okay? My tin hat is starting to really tingle. Because, again, I don't know what happened to Ticket's interview. Maybe he has it, maybe he privated it himself. But I don't see that, because usually his videos are just up. I've never seen him do a stream and then it was gone. And now they're getting hit, and they have the most Jaguar Wright interviews on the internet. But yet and still, Piers Morgan's interview with Jaguar Wright, granted they have to go in and take things out, but it's still up. So is YouTube or Leo or just whoever trying to strike at black content creators who are platforming her? I don't know. Something is just strange. Why would they get a strike? They're giving her a platform to talk. Why are they receiving a strike on their channel? And she was saying some very interesting things during that interview, because the interview right now is gone because their channel, you can't see anything. So let me pull up a snippet. that Black Balloon was talking about. I really like this video snippet. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, so this was some of the stuff that she was saying on Real Life Productions YouTube page. So let's watch this real quick here.
Promised the South that the next time the Super Bowl came through, it would be a Louisiana affair. And then when Diddy goes and gets into trouble and you need to convince the white people you're still in control, you bring Kendrick Lamar, who we already know you don't like for the way he embarrassed you on Don't Kill My Vibe, the remix. But we also know
Up in the closet.
you got ties in TDE, Sean Carter, and you got a switch on top. I know that. I know that for a fact. Just like why you keep having artists that want to jump off of high places. Shout out to Ab Soul.
Oh.
What was her name? Alori Joe?
Oh.
That woman.
Let me come in and say something real quick. I think that struck a nerve with whoever took down or gave them a strike, because she's low-key accusing them of doing something to this girl where she felt the need to jump off of the tower in Cali and kill herself. One thing about Cali, if you ever move out to Hollywood, you will find out that the S word, I just hate talking like a kindergartner, but you got to watch what you say, right? Is very common. I remember the first week I was in LA and I just moved out there and I was on set, and one of my friends that I ended up becoming friends with told me literally her first week in LA, she watched a woman jump off of their building and just off herself. It's very common. It's just something about that industry. I was really good friends with Sam Spurpong. If y'all remember back in the day, he was in Love Don't Cost a Thing. He was on Your Mama. It was an MTV show. And I remember we became friends in LA. Super, super cool. You would think he had everything he ever wanted in life. Rich, nice clothes, always on the red carpet. And I remember the day before Halloween, I got calls from people that he had jumped off of a bridge, and I forgot which bridge it was in Cali. And he was up there for 8 hours. They were trying to talk him down, and he ended up jumping. And me and him talked on the phone several times, and I would have never thought that, you know, he was going through anything, but it's something about the industry. And I don't speak too much on Sam. I don't think I've ever spoken on him before. I think I have one of his last interviews. I interviewed him on the red carpet in LA at the World Dance Awards. I had interviewed him and Chris Judd, J-Lo's ex-husband, who was super nice, by the way. So when she starts talking about this young girl that was signed to TDE, who offed herself, and then Ab Soul tried to off himself by jumping off of a freeway, I think was a lot being said, and it has YouTube nervous. I'm going to keep playing the clip.
Through herself. From a control tower and impaled herself with spikes right before she was about to sign the TDE. And her fiance, Ab Soul, threw himself off the freeway out of grief and survived.
Mm-hmm.
Why are all of the artists at TDE so unhappy? You got some of the best artists in the West there. Why did Kendrick Lamar feel the need to leave and start his own? And why is he able to release more records now that he's not at TDE?
So
Interesting.
Let me ask you, as you're on this topic.
I'll tell you one thing, Curtis Jackson, you are a setup king. And I promise you this, any little nigga that you're enlisting to go down to New Orleans and start trouble during the Super Bowl, that will stop. That will stop. I'm sick and tired of you. And the truth is, they only like you for your money.
Let me ask you, Jack, on a surface level, you're saying that Kendrick being in the Super Bowl versus, let's say, Wayne, which was like a shoe-in for the city, that in the background, and again, we talked about the mayor, it's a lot more to it than just as simple as, oh, Kendrick's he had a great year.
Social engineering, creating an issue that didn't need to be an issue.
I hear that. Like Hunger Games, like.
Very Hunger Games. Life imitates art. Art imitates life.
Life imitates art, art imitates life. How many connections were we able to make after everything came out with Diddy? Remember the video that I did the other day, I showed y'all a bunch of connections. Remember the picture of Russell Brand with the egg? Then you have Suge Knight talking about this, egg ritual of them putting eggs up their ass. You have Russell Brand, and I believe that was Jonah Hill, being chased down a hallway by P. Diddy in a movie, only to fast forward years later, P. Diddy running like a maniac chasing Cassie down a hallway. So a lot of life is imitating art. A lot of things were said that we're now looking back on like, damn, it was right in our faces. It was right in our faces, but we just didn't make the connection at the time.
I tell you one thing, it's been almost 30 years since Biggie and Tupac were taken from us. That was social engineering at its finest. It got people in line, didn't it?
Without question.
Now you think about Drake right now, and you think about Kendrick Lamar. That's looking about the same as Biggie, Kendrick. Biggie, Kendrick, Tupac, Drake. Think about the comparisons.
Yep.
Imagine. Be a gangster playing. Imagine
comparisons.
If the same fate that befell Biggie and Tupac happened to Drake and Kendrick.
Just imagine.
And as messy as Drake is right now, I can almost bet that there's somebody that wants to turn his faucet off. Because if y'all think Diddy is a mess, Drake, he was being groomed to be next in line. See?
Y'all catch that? She said Drake was being groomed to be next in line. And there have been allegations and, talk on the internet of Drake, running with young girls. And I remember seeing TikToks of young girls saying that Drake and the daddy stay at them parties with his old ass. So she has said a lot. And I believe she said so much in this particular interview. That is why they gave that channel a strike, which to me is ridiculous. That people are literally now being punished for allowing Jag, to come on their platform. Now today she was doing a live stream as well with another platform, but this is a white man's platform though. I don't really know him. I seen it was being pushed on YouTube, so I went to go kind of check it out. See if I still have it up here. And so she's talking to him. Oh, maybe it ended. Hold on. This is it here. Okay. I had a bookmark. So I don't know if this is going to end up staying up or if they're going to take this down as well. I still had it on my page. The live is over. But let me see if I can play some of this. See if it will play. Whose platform is this? What's his name? Somebody Atwood? Atwood Unleashed. It's a podcast, Atwood Unleashed. So let me go ahead and play this here.
No problem.
Is Ali Carter being...
Next question is Ali Carter being silenced?
I'm sure she is. I hope it's not my fault. I made an outcry to her that I'm willing to talk to her. I had said I didn't want to for quite some time. A lot of people try to latch on to me to validate their stories and claims, and I've had some incidences where it's been absolutely false. And the very
So who she's talking about is Ali Carter, who is this young black girl who has been saying for years that she was sex trafficked by not only Diddy, but a bunch of other high-ranking people in the industry, and that they were led through underground tunnels. Like, her stories are just, they're crazy, but a lot of it has a lot of truth to it too. So now that all of this stuff is coming out about Diddy, she's saying that the police are trying to interview her and now they want to talk to her. But she's been online saying a lot of this stuff for years. So that's who Jag is talking about in that instance. Let me try and, I wanted to get the part where she's talking about the Kardashians.
Yep. Gordon has got a question for you.
look
Can
at
the lawyer...
Mills. It's just a mess.
Gordon's asking whether the lawyers and attorneys in these cases can be trusted, or are they part of the problem?
Him, and he was raided, but he left his children there, and nobody. The simple fact that it is now being said that there are catch and kill tapes with her on multiple tapes. We already know she don't have a problem with having sex on camera. According to Ray J, her mother likes to film her with men and leak it to the internet, because that's what Ray J said himself, that it was Kris Jenner that filmed him and Kim together, and they did more than one tape because apparently she didn't like the first production. They had to beef it up. But what mother?
Question from Martha.
All right. So like I said, as you see, she's not stopping. She is telling her truth and going from platform to platform to tell it. But I do believe that they are trying to punish some of these outlets that are giving her a platform. And to me, that's just another way to silence her. Because if you're not going after her, but you're going after the platforms, now it looks like some of the things that she's saying, you don't have to believe everything she's saying, right? Because like I said, take what you make of it and then spit out the bones. Whatever you don't agree with or whatever, sounds over the top, that's for you to decipher and figure out. But it does make my tin hat tingle when I'm seeing platforms being punished and videos being taken down that she has visited. It's giving a lot of validity to a lot of things that she's saying, that people are receiving strikes and stuff like that on their platforms. Basically being told, because let's keep it real, this is a source of income for many people, okay? This is my full-time job, is being a content creator. So I'm going to move smart. I've been there. I've been demonetized. I've had my channel taken down. This is why I have 2 channels now, because back in 2013, they took this channel from me. So I understand it. So for me, I move differently. That's why I said I can't afford to risk my channel by interviewing people on YouTube, maybe on a different platform like Spotify or, my own personal website. It would be nothing that I would do here on YouTube. I don't even post my deep dives on YouTube because I understand how YouTube gets down, right? But like I said, this is giving more and more validity to the things that she's saying. And she's naming a lot of big names. And I think a lot of people are running scared and they're saying you have to do something about this woman. Because before, you know, it was cool when she was just talking to little black YouTubers with under 100,000 followers. But once she made it to Piers Morgan and everyone started talking about that interview, from the New York Daily Mail to the New York Times to the UK Mail, all that stuff, then it's like, okay, she's starting to become a problem. She's starting to become a thorn on our side. So I just wish Jaguar the best and protection, because at this point, it's, you know, it's getting real out here. They're really trying to silence the platforms that she goes on. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I thought that interview that she was doing with this man was pretty good from what I watched. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats here. Davy sent $4.99. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. EB Weston says, please don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, y'all. We got 9,000 people in here. I didn't even realize that. Hey, y'all. Please hit the like button if you guys are in here sipping tea and enjoying the stream. Please hit the like button. Shelby Kiana sent $4.99 says, hey, Auntie, I want to know if you feel anything about the Menendez brothers. No, I really don't. I think, again, Kim Kardashian is once again looking for attention. She's attaching herself to them. Could there have been some, you know, molestation? The father could have did something to them? Absolutely. I don't like the fact that this is all being tied to Kim. If they're trying to exonerate them and say that, you know, this was done for a reason, I want to see real lawyers involved. I want to see real people involved. I get tired of her attaching herself to real cases. Then she gets all the glory and praise. And then on to the next one. Again, to me, this is just a distraction. Because this bitch name keep coming up, tied to Diddy and all this nonsense. So what better way than to get myself away from any accusations than to refocus everything on the Menendez brothers? I'm like, what year is this, 1993? So I'm not saying that, you know, they were clearly guilty. They clearly killed their parents. I'm not saying that it couldn't have been justified, but I'm tired of everything being attached to Kim Kardashian. She's an energy vampire. So whatever she can latch herself to, that's what she's going to do. And that's all I see when I see this case with the Menendez brothers. So hope that answers your question, sis. Let's see here. C. Johnson says, I knew my auntie was going to go live and talk about the preference drama with Safaree Minaj. Not Safaree. Not Safaree Minaj. Thank you. Love you too. Y'all are funny. Therapy Queen. She sent $200. She says, hello, Lovelyti and all the tea sippers. I'm just stopping to show my support. I hope everyone has an awesome sauce day. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for coming through and thank you for the super chat. It's very much appreciated. So thank you. And I hope you have an awesome day as well, sis. Let's see here. Englewood sent $9.99. Thank you, Englewood. Loving Life sent $20. Thank you so much. And Monique Lowell sent $499.99. Moneybag Mo's in the building. Thank you, Mo, for the super chat. I really, really appreciate you for that. Y'all be showing so much love, and I really appreciate it. Because like I said, I don't ask for super chats, and the fact that y'all send them and just really show support to my channel means a lot to me, because a lot of my live streams end up getting demonetized just because of the topic. So thank you guys for just supporting. It means a lot. I know some people say that they try and send super chats and YouTube won't let them. I don't know why that is, but I've been hearing that for a while. So, but thank you guys. Let's see here. Rose Marin says, Jay doesn't want equality for black people. He wants the same privilege as the white man. That's a really good point. And I think that's how it is for a lot of these people who get into these positions. You know, just like when Diddy was crying about how the Grammy board is unfair and, you know, how they need more black faces, you know, on the Grammy board. Like, he's so disingenuous. And that's why I clocked this tea around that time. You as a black man has spent years shitting on other black people. But then the second you get the same treatment from the white man, now you're a victim. That's why I didn't feel bad for him. With the whole Grammy drama, the whole Diageo situation, Diddy is trash and he has treated so many people of color like trash. So they don't really want equity. They want to be in those same spaces as these billionaire white men. That's all that is. So thank you for the super chat. Ayana sent $20, says, hey team, my birthday is Tuesday. I'm officially 25. I want to say thank you for being your authentically beautiful self and not change it for anyone. Love you. Love you too, and happy early birthday, Ayana. Thank you so much for coming through, sis. Appreciate you. Nicole Lovely sent $10, says #1 fan. She sent a super sticker. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you. Eric sent a super sticker. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. Let me see here. My page just refreshed. Let's see here. Taylor says, Liam left the world in such a sad way. I've been a fan since I was 12. I'm now 26 and heartbroken. Simon Cowell is evil and overworked those boys and probably did much worse. Thank you so much for the super chat. We will talk about Liam in just a second here. Let's see here. Kitty the Jackson sent $49.99, says, hey T, glad to see you're well. I wish I could have seen you in Tennessee. Sorry I couldn't be there. This tea is hot as usual. Sorry to go off topic, but would you ever bring back Dope Beauty? Back on topic. I hope Jag is safe. She says a lot. Thank you so much. You know, the whole Dope Beauty thing, I know a lot of people still ask for my skin care products and the lotions and all that stuff. But for me, I'm a small business. It was just too much. It was too much work doing everything myself. And then once C19 hit, getting the bottles, a lot of my bottles and things like that came from overseas in China. So it's hard to get the bottles, and, you know, the manufacturer, they wanted to do bigger runs. And it's like, I'm not a big corporate entity. My beauty products were not in stores. So I couldn't do a run for like tens and thousands of dollars worth of product. You know what I'm saying? So I could only do small runs, and they weren't doing any more small runs. So that's really why I had to end it. So it's not like I had investors, and, you know, unfortunately, a lot of white YouTubers, they can just be like, oh, I want to start a makeup line, and people will come running with money, honey, okay? Marlena Steele will come and write a check to Jacqueline Hill for $1 million. I'm a black woman. I don't get those type of luxuries. Everything I do, I come out of pocket myself to do. I don't have sponsors and help. Everything is me. So I appreciate y'all for having supported Dope Beauty and seeing, you know, my vision and everything I put into it. So honestly, unless I have help, I'm not going to bring it back. It's a lot of work, you know, to just stay afloat and keep things running. But I'm really glad that you like the product. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's just the truth. We don't get that type of support. So like I said, everything was on me. And it just, I don't have the money to pay for thousands and thousands of dollars of runs, you know. So once they changed it, they couldn't do small runs anymore. I'm like, well, guess I'm out of business. So, you know, but it's all good. You know, I appreciate the support for when I had it. It meant a lot to me. So let's go ahead. I want to talk about this whole Liam situation. This is extremely disturbing. So before Liam supposedly fell off of a balcony in Australia, he was being accused of some pretty horrendous things. His ex-fiance was blasting him on TikTok. They were also saying that he was sliding in the DMs of underage girls. So let me go ahead and pull up that information here. Oh, hold on. Okay, here we go. So let me pull this up. So before we even get on to his alleged, I don't know, falling, let's talk about what was going on about a week ago with Liam Payne. So they're saying here that Liam Payne is accused of DMing young girls, raising concerns about his online behavior. Recent allegations have surfaced against Liam Payne, accusing him of direct messaging young girls, leading to widespread concern. The accusations came from a former fiance, Maya Henry, who recently shared details in a TikTok video stating that Payne had been contacting his fans, through Snapchat and other social media platforms. Henry added that Payne admitted to preying on One Direction fans because they're loyal to him. These claims have sparked outrage and debate, some fans defending the singer while others demand accountability. So somebody says, I've read Maya's book, so you don't have to hear the details. So I'm just going to read some of this. Liam Payne, who was pushing 30 at the time, started dating and abusing Maya Henry when she was 18 to 19, fresh out of high school. By the way, she has every right to talk shit about him. I hope she continues exposing his nasty ass. So a lot of these people have tried to go and delete their tweets. My thing is, if you're going to tweet it, stand in it. Don't go deleting the shit. You said it. You know what I mean? Why switch up because somebody died? If somebody was a horrible person, they were a horrible person. No love, no loss. You know, and this is all alleged, but I'm just saying in general. Like, that'd be like if something happened to Diddy. You think I'm about to take down all my Diddy videos? Absolutely the fuck not. I said what I said, and I stand by what I said. This person says, only right, I share some proof to back the girl is finally speaking up on this Liam situation. I have SS going back to 2017 up to June of this year. What he has done over the years to many of us fans is absolutely vile. We deserve better. Somebody else says, as a victim of being preyed on at the age of 19 by Liam Payne, let's cancel his ass for good. Okay, these were coming from One Direction fans. Somebody else is saying, girl, no one gives a fuck about that band reuniting when a woman has just come forward with her story about how Liam Payne abused her for years. Fuck the band and how you can be so inconsiderate right now, actually. So let me click on this here. I don't feel like reading all this. I'm not gonna read all that. So let me go ahead and I thought it was gonna be something like a small synopsis. Y'all can go ahead and read it. I'm not gonna read all that. So let me pull up. I'm gonna watch this video really quick, and then I also have a video of the girlfriend talking on whatchamacallit, on TikTok. But let me find this other video here. Where's the video? Where's the video? I have a lot of screens open. I think it was back this way. Okay, here it is. All right. So this is Access Hollywood. That is the ex-girlfriend, Maya.
I'm not well. And he would always play with death and be like, well, I'm going to die. I'm not doing well.
Liam Payne's ex-fiancée, Maya Henry, claimed the singer had appeared to threaten his own death before his tragic passing. Speaking on the Internet is Dead podcast recently, the author claimed that Liam had previously sent her messages after they split where he would, quote, play with death.
I always felt like it was a manipulation tactic to keep me, I don't know, it's kind of complicated, but I always felt like it was so that I could continue to feel bad for him. And because he would always message me ever since we broke up, like, oh, I'm not well. He would always play with death and be like, well, I'm going to die. I'm not doing well. And there was one time I tried to get him help, and then he was like not taking it. He would text my mom, I'm not doing well, have Maya contact me, because I wouldn't respond. And it's just always the same cycle. And every time that, like, for example, when I announced my book, he did the same thing. He called my mom, I think I'm not going to be around much longer. And
oh my God.
And I don't play with death. So I'm like, if you say this, I'm going to try and help you no matter what you've done. And I think he took advantage of my family's kindness. And I was like, if you want to go back to rehab, I'll help you, even though, you know, whatever. And not that I ever wanted to be back with him, but he's still somebody's child. He's somebody's brother. Like, if that were my brother, you know, I would want someone to help him too. And so, but I always just, in the end, I felt like it was a manipulation. And I'm like, especially after everything you've done, I've told you to leave me alone.
She then claimed that there were recent events that she couldn't speak on legally, adding that it had gotten much worse. And also said that up even until her book, titled Looking Forward, was released in May, she would get calls from people in his life saying that it wasn't a good time for him, which she again categorized as a manipulation tactic.
I know the lifestyle he lives, and there is a day where something bad is going to happen. So I would always be like, okay, he's saying these things. I have to help him, because if I don't, I will never be able to live with myself if something does happen to him. Because You know, as I said, he's a father, he has a family, like, I just want to help. And, I mean, up even until my book was coming out, even one of his friends was calling me and my mom being like, oh, you know, isn't a good time for him. I don't think you should put the book out. You know, he's not doing well. And if something happens to him, not only are you going to blame yourself, but the whole world's going to blame you. And so I was like, just the fact that they just keep trying, I'm like, it is like you said, such a low manipulation tactic.
So basically she was working on this book. She was getting ready to drop it. And so people have been pressuring her not to drop the book. She'd also been talking about this on her personal TikTok page. So of course, now that he done, you know, supposedly fell off of a balcony, I think he offed himself. Can we just keep it real? I think he offed himself. So now people are attacking her and blaming her. And people don't understand, when you're in an abusive relationship and you're dealing with a narcissist and a master manipulator, they will pull all stops to mess with you mentally. You know what I'm saying? Where if I kill myself, it's your fault. You know what I mean? Those are things to make you feel guilty and to keep you there in that relationship. You know, and I know a lot of men who do this, and there are women who do this as well. You know what I'm saying? It's a form of control.
The book is fiction, but inspired by true events, Maya said, and centers around a woman falling in love with a, quote, former boy bander despite fame, attention, and personal demons that threaten them both. One of the events in the book includes the main character Mallory getting an abortion and suffering complications. Maya told People magazine that what she went through in real life is very similar to what the character did. Maya added that she also had complications like Mallory and had to go to the hospital alone. She also noted to the outlet about her own procedure, quote, if it were up to me, I wouldn't have done it. But then also, if I were to have made a different decision, then I would have lost the person that I loved. There were definitely difficult conversations about it, but looking back now, things happened for a reason. The model had also released a TikTok just days before her ex's passing, defending herself from people coming after her online.
Okay, I'm going to address some of these comments and kind of break it down. So I've been seeing ones like this everywhere, and honestly ones that say she needs to keep his name out of her mouth. She's obsessed, blah, blah, blah. They broke up years ago. Well, I made a 5-second TikTok about something he talked about on a podcast. He was the one airing out everyone's dirty laundry on a podcast. So it's okay for him to talk shit, but the minute I make a 5-second video, it's over, right? Also, you're calling me obsessed. Oh, she's crazy. This would happen when you are with someone who's obsessed, blah, blah, blah. Y'all don't even know what happens behind closed doors or in private. Ever since we broke up, he messages me, will blow up my phone, mind you, not only from his phone number, it's always from different phone numbers too. So I never know where it's going to come from. He'll create new iCloud accounts to iMessage me. It's always a damn new iCloud account. I'm like, every time I see one pop up on my phone, I'm like, here we again. Also, will email me. And he does this when he gets his phone taken away. Also, not only me, but he'll blow up my mom's phone. Is that normal behavior to you? But I'm crazy for making a 5-second TikTok about something that he brought to the internet?
Liam Payne passed October 16th after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Someone at the hotel where the singer was staying called 911 to report a guest's apparent erratic behavior, saying, quote, we have a guest who is overindulged in drugs and alcohol and, well, when he is conscious, he is breaking the whole room. Well, we need you to send someone, please. According to audio obtained via local media by Telemundo. They added, the guest is in a room that has a balcony and, well, we are a little afraid that he might do something life-threatening. After his death, people reported that according to a source, the singer was extremely overwhelmed by legal issues with Maya. Liam is survived by his 7-year-old son Bear, whom he shares with his ex and singer Cheryl.
Okay, so that is the story of Liam from One Direction. I want to also go ahead and pull up, because there's a strange connection to Liam and Diddy. He told a story about Diddy, Jay-Z, and Leonardo DiCaprio not too long ago. So it's very interesting that the Diddler is once again involved in some mess. Let me try and find that story here. Okay. I think it's on this. Okay, here it is. But on top of that, I want to also, hold on. Trying to see. Okay, this is what his room looked like before we even get there. This is the room. Let me share this. Okay. So as you guys can see all the drug paraphernalia. And they're saying that basically he was tearing up the hotel room. He was like just super erratic, going through it, screaming, hollering. Look at that. Broke the TV. You can see glass on the floor. Some more drugs in the bathtub. So this young man had a lot of issues. So now let's listen to the story that he talked about meeting Diddy and Jay-Z and them. You see how the mainstream does? He said Diddy, Jay-Z, Leonardo DiCaprio, and he jumped in to stop him. Oh, you said enough names. Because it's always okay for you to blast, you know, the black celebrities. But now you're tying Leonardo DiCaprio, who is Hollywood's golden boy, in the mix. You see, he did his job as one of these handlers to jump in and herp and try and deflect. You're saying too many names. All of this is an open secret. You can't tell me it's not. All right. He said he tried to lean in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He tried to let his shoulder lean, child. He tried to lean in and talk to Jay-Z, and the bodyguard was like, boom, get your ass up out of there. Why? Is Jay-Z not human? We're all at a, celebrity party. I can't even lean in and say hi. So if the bodyguard is pushing, and he's One Direction, it's not like he's just some bum off the street. He got his own little caliber of success, as well. And they're not even allowing him to come into Jay-Z's space. And then he said Diddy just shook his hand for a long time and stared at him and just had an evil laughter. That's very strange. And I wonder if he was shaking his hand for a long time to check his temperature, to see if he would be one of the ones who'd be down for a Diddy freak-off party. You never know. Just saying. Just saying. So that was his connection. So like I said, I don't believe that he just fell over the balcony. I think because he was being blasted for manipulating his young One Direction fans, and that, they were calling him out for sliding in young girls' DMs. Plus, with Maya telling out her business and her issues with Liam, I think that kind of pushed him over the edge. So, I didn't listen to One Direction, so it's just like, okay, all right, well, rest in peace. But I didn't listen to them. They weren't like a favorite boy band of mine. Let me see here. So now let's talk about the Tates. We're going to save Erica and Safaree for next. We got to talk about Andrew and Tristan Tate, okay? All right. So for a while, I have been telling y'all that, I don't really have a disdain one way or another for them. I need to know more info about them. I didn't follow their rise. I just remember they went really popular. Then they got banned off of social media and stuff like that. That's when he kind of came into my consciousness. And I remember my youngest son was asking me, do I watch Andrew Tate? And I'm like, who is that? So he also told me about Andrew Tate. So when they got arrested, he was going on a hobo tour. This is a play by The Matrix. The Matrix is trying to set me and my brother up. They're mad because I'm teaching young men about traditional values and being good men and working out and taking care of their family. So I'm thinking, okay, well, The Matrix, whoever they are, they hate the truth. They hate traditional families. Maybe he's saying some truthful stuff. But then the more I dug into him, I'm finding out, what is traditional about you? You have several baby mamas. You got several kids by different women. Your baby mamas also sell pussy. Sorry, the P. What is traditional about you? These men will get onto podcasts like Fresh and Fit and these Red Pill podcasts and tear down women in the sex industry. how, you know, it's haram and these women they're whores, and, you know, woman needs to keep her virtue, and, you know, you can't be out here slutting yourself out and sleeping with multiple men, which I agree with. I agree with all those sentiments. But isn't it very funny that these same men who preach that, they're never with women who are doctors and nurses and teachers who have high morals? Even the one guy from Fresh and Fit, didn't he knock up some Asian prostitute? AKA his girlfriend, but he found her, she was like an OnlyFans. Why are they never with women who are astute, but they want to preach what women should be doing, but somehow their baby mamas, their wives, never come from that background? I find that very interesting. So there's a guy, somebody said, hallelujah, speak on it. You know I'm going to speak on it because Candace Owens has been doing a lot of caping for the Tates. And then I find out her husband, you know, that she ran to, you know, get with and marry within like a month. And then her and got knocked up by him. He's very good friends with the Tates. Her husband got money. Okay. Her husband is very rich. And rich people run in circles. And a lot of times when people are rich and they have all types of money, they get bored. Because after a while, you've made your millions. You got your Lambos. You got your, you know, Corvettes. And that doesn't excite you anymore. So let's get into the wonderful world of pimping bitches. Okay? So while she's up here telling her audience that, oh, this was 10 years ago when they said stuff like that, they were just looking to go viral. There's no merit behind that. Remember, I had played y'all that clip. But then in the same breath, she won't stop going in on Kamala Harris and clocking Kamala Harris's pussy miles. Clocking who Kamala Harris has slept with. Talking about Kamala Harris and Big Willie. So you can bring up who Kamala Harris supposedly slept with 20 years ago to get to where she's at. But anything concerning Andrew Tate, it's the Matrix. They're just trying to take a good man down. So anyways, there's a YouTube channel. I ran across them while doing my research because I wanted to know more about the Tate brothers. So I've been following this YouTube channel for a while now, and they've been doing some deep dives into the Tate brothers. And when I tell you they dropped a damn documentary out this world, a 3-part series, bitch, I said, well, damn, I thought I was the deep dive queen. They done did a deep dive on the Tate brothers, and I was blown away. I learned so much from watching their channel. Let me go ahead and pull up the clips here. Okay, let me get their name. What is his name, child? Common Sense Skeptic. That is their name. They've done several series on the Tates, but they recently dropped a 3-part series. So I'm going to play 2 snippets from part 2 and part 3. It's called The Matrix of Lies. And when I tell you, if you don't know about the Tates and like this whole criminal investigation, they have done so much research, it is insane. The research that they put into basically calling out all the lies from the Tates is insane. I honestly thought Tristan was the calm one. I'm like, okay, he's handsome. He seems, you know, really calm, you know, demure, astute. I didn't know Christian was he's just a bigger freak as his brother. He out here pimping bitches too. His baby mama sell coochie. I said, well, damn. I thought y'all were some good Christian and Muslim men. Let me go ahead and play this clip. Go ahead and watch this here. Oh, hold on. Share this screen. So this is on part 2. This is his lawyer, who's not really he's a bootleg lawyer from New York. They ended up investigating him and his shady practices as well. So we're gonna watch some of this. Somebody said they're shooketh. Yeah, I was shooketh. I didn't know both their baby mamas was out here selling cooch. As much preaching as they do.
Long story short, the entire case against them is crap.
Well, we already know that the case against them is not crap, even if the final girl standing is the 15-year-old that Andrew Tate is reported to have raped. But let's investigate the daddy card that McBride is trying to play here for the Tates as he attempts to portray them as loving, doting fathers. If only there were some way to demonstrate the affection that these men have for their offspring and the mothers of their children.
I had to, and this is actually good. I wouldn't, I guess, admit this on a live, but I had to downgrade one of the mothers of my kids from the house she was living in. I needed her to understand that you do not fuck with me. And she was living in a 4-bedroom rented house, and I was paying the rent and all the bills. I pay everything. I said, okay, you know what? You want to fuck with me in that way? That's cool. You have 30 days to get out of that house. Here's your new apartment, 2 bedrooms. Well, what do you mean? Now your child doesn't have a garden to play in. Well, that's your fault. That is not my fault. Take her to the fucking park. I don't take shit. So it's never going to get to that level where they think, oh, well, let me call the U.S. Embassy, and because he's a citizen, maybe I can, because they know the consequence. It's not going to turn out good for them or me or anybody.
Seems like father of the year material, right? So downgraded the mother and the child to an apartment just to be a dick, and holding his daughter's well-being ransom until the mother capitulated to whatever demand Tristan was making. What's interesting about this video, if you're reading between the lines, is it shows how women had obviously been contemplating turning Tristan into the American embassy prior to this video being made, but the women obviously feel locked into this arrangement despite their misgivings. And we know from the June 2023 indictment that Tristan had instructed Georgiana to not provide his baby mama, Abigail, with a caregiver for their daughter unless Abby continued to make porn content for him on OnlyFans. The caregiver herself provided the details of this strong-arm tactic and will appear as a witness. She was involved with the Tates as a child care provider for a period of time that included February of 2022. This witness also cleaned the cam room studios in between online porn sessions. So here we have Tristan forcing the mother of his daughter to put herself on full display on the internet for money for him.
You know, the top girls.
Did y'all see that? So the same women, yes, that's how I felt out here, Beauty. I was shocked watching this. Because the way they talk now in 2024, now that they got all these cases trailing behind them, is that you would think that they were dating school teachers. Sunday school teachers at that, the way they talk. He's literally pimping out his own baby's mother to sell cooch on OnlyFans. You literally can go to OnlyFans and buy her and tell her to go play with herself with a dildo, and the money goes to him. But these same men will talk down to regular women who are on OnlyFans doing the same thing. Because it's only cool when a man can pimp you and get some money off of you. When you decide to be renegade and sell your own damn services, now you're a whore. Unless you're allowing some man to pimp you and get half. Well, from the looks of it, they take it all. So let me keep playing this.
They earned a lot, but they weren't working for money. They were working because they liked me. They respected me. They wanted my attention. They wanted to end up as my main girl, the girl who had my kids, whatever their dream was. So they work and work away, and I keep large percentages of the money. That's one of the reasons I got so rich in this business.
As it turns out, when it comes to the baby mamas for these two clowns, we recently saw some additional insight through a wiretap leak that came out August 23, 2024, regarding how much love and care and attention that the Tates give the mothers of their children. To call these girls Tate broodmares would be a generous accounting.
Okay, you have kids, damn, I didn't know that.
Why wouldn't I?
Did they all have different baby mothers?
I mean, not all different, but there's been a few ovens to bake the bread. Women are slow, G. Like, I say this all the time. I'm like, listen, I have no problems having kids with one woman. It's fine. But if you're going to take 9 months to grow a single, simple baby, then you're just messing about. That's your problem.
Come on, bro.
The fact that Aiden Ross is saying that he didn't know that Andrew Tate had kids because he kept this fact hidden. He wasn't letting people know that he was out here creating broken homes, because that's exactly what he's doing. He's no different than these Dusties. He's no different than a Nick Cannon, a Cam Newton, Elon Musk. They're all a bunch of Dusties. I don't care what their bank account says. This behavior is dusty. You're creating broken homes. You're not in the home. He never ever mentioned his kids until he was arrested and thrown in jail in Romania. And then he started talking about his family and how he wasn't able to take care of his kids and provide for his family. But we're all assuming that all the kids are by one woman. Now we're finding out he got multiple baby mamas. And he's trying to joke about it, talking about, well, why wouldn't I have a bunch of different baby moms? Because it takes a woman 9 months to create a child. For a child to be born, that takes too long. So instead of him taking onus that you're irresponsible with your dick, because that's what that is. You're trying to blame it and say it's because women take too long to have kids. 9 months is too long. As opposed to just saying you're irresponsible and you're a baby mama making machine like all these other rich dusties. This is dusty behavior. I don't care your bank account.
The wiretap leak shows a voicemail transcript from Andrew to Tristan, talking about getting their respective girlfriends pregnant, then sending them home so the brothers could continue partying with the other girls for the rest of the summer. And after giving birth to bastard children for these two degenerates, the women would wind up right back on camera together, as it turns out. Here we've got Tristan's baby mama, and apparently Andrew's baby mama in a shower together, Vivian under the name.
Oh, let me take it off this screenshot.
Kiss Cobra and Abigail under the moniker Oh My Mile. But since we're talking about baby mama.
Now, you notice how these same men, they hate homosexuality. Remember, he's about traditional values. This is what Candace Owens wants everybody to believe. He's about traditional values. He's about one man with one woman having a child and raising that child in a household. But yet and still, his brother's baby mama and his baby mama are doing porn together, doing lesbian shit. Oh, why is it that these men hate homosexuality until it comes to threesomes? Until it comes to two females bumping coochies, then it's okay. But gay men, that's where they draw the line. They're hypocrites. They're hypocrites. They talk about traditional families all the time, but both of their babies' mothers are literally licking each other's twat on OnlyFans. Does that not feel a bit ancestral to you? You can't tell me that they're not doing like the whole wife swapping thing. That Andrew done smashed Tristan's and Tristan done smashed Andrew's baby mama. You can't tell me that they're not doing, I mean, like what? You're allowing everybody to see them. You're allowing people to see them and, you know what I'm saying, pay money to get them to perform sex acts. So why wouldn't you, girlfriend, baby mama swap? So when I tell you this dude clocked their tea in this documentary, he clocked that shit.
Mamas, and McBride had brought up laundering assets. This probably bears mentioning. Abigail Tyson, the baby mama in question, now controls shares of the Tate's former webcam enterprise. The suspicion is that when the boys knew their lives were going to get raided, thanks to the insider information that Luana got from the local cop shop, the Tates needed to dispose of the webcam business entity. And originally that company went to Georgiana Nagel, Andrew Tate's bottom bitch in the operation. But when it came to light that Gio was also going to be brought up on charges alongside the brothers and Luana, the business then transferred to Abby in Dubai. This is detailed in the first indictment of June 15, 2023. This is hiding assets more than money laundering, but it is still aiding and abetting known felons. And who knows how.
All right, so now let me show you a snippet from part 3. So like I said, y'all can go watch the whole thing on their channel. So this is part 3. We're going to watch a small snippet of this as well.
From 5 years ago, when Andrew was talking with Anthony Dream Johnson from Manosphere's 21 Studios just ahead of the 21 Convention 2019 on June 18th, 2019 in Warsaw, Poland.
Once again, not to plug or anything, but in my course we talk about weaponizing your attention because that's the only thing a man has.
I say plug away. What's the website?
It's cobratate.com, and I've got a course on there that basically explains how I got girls to work for me. For
Tate's PhD, right?
It's a PhD course, pimping hose degree.
Fuck yeah. I was wondering what it meant.
PhD, pimping hose degree.
I've seen it. I just didn't know what the PhD meant. I was like, is this his PhD in pimpology? Like, what is this?
But this is who I am. This is what I do.
Zero apology.
Yeah, zero apology, and I don't. It's not something I put on. It's not something I fake. People think I'm playing a character. It's like no. This is who I am. This is what I do. Bam. If you don't like it, don't follow me. You know, it's just. And I have a relationship. I've been in a relationship for 6 years. I fuck anything that moves. She knows I do it. Yeah. And she stays with me anyway. Like I do what I fucking want.
Yeah, it's delusional.
Yeah, it's delusional.
Or how about the live stream that Tristan Tate did 3 years ago with John Anthony Lifestyle? Some very famous Tristan Tate quotes in that episode that streamed live November 26, 2021. John Anthony thumbs through Tristan's Conquest Diary folder named God Mode Game as Tristan is sucking back yet another 10-ounce tumbler of liquor with no ice. Here's Tristan bragging about the 17-year-old that he was hurting during sex for his own pleasure.
Actually, this one, I can't see her body, but that's kind of a hot face.
Oh, Olivia. Jesus Christ. I was the second man she ever fucked in her whole life. Beautiful, big, natural tits. So cute. Man, it hurt her at every moment that I was doing it, but it felt good for me, so who gives a shit?
That's gonna win over the ones that you lost during this podcast if they heard that.
All right. So this is who Candace Owens is defending. This is who she swears up and down. Oh, those videos are 10 years ago. We just saw the video from 2019 and one from 2021. Neither were from 10 years ago. In this most recent one, Tristan is bragging about smashing a 17-year-old. And, basically smashing her hard. Where he didn't care if he hurt her as long as he got off. You heard Andrew talking about the whole PhD, pimping hoes degree. So again, like I said, I try to give grace until I find out more about them because I don't know about their rise. I never followed these guys like that. I didn't know about them until they first got popped. And he swore up and down it was the Matrix. So I'm glad that they are being exposed. They are going to be going to court. They're not out free. They're out on bail. They are going to be going to court, and hopefully, folks will see justice. Now, what's also very telling, like I was saying, that you have to realize with a lot of these celebrities is that once they want to turn a new leaf, once they know that trouble is coming or that the money is running low, notice how they'll change their disposition. They'll either run to go find religion, they'll run to find consciousness and become more woke, or they'll just run to, like Diddy, change his whole name and persona. And to me, that screams a mental illness. That screams that you are running from yourself. Because my thing is, people are just people, right? You're most likely going to be who you are, especially once you get over the age of 26 and your frontal lobe has developed. I'm not saying you can't grow and you can't elevate and you can't change. But when it's something that drastic, I have to give it the side eye, especially when it comes to these celebrities. Because when you have to do things for social media validation and on camera, to me, it doesn't come off as genuine. And I can show you guys a whole bunch of celebrities. Remember, Brittany Renner, she was the main one. Loved, having sex with random people, bragging about getting ran through. And she's been with all these guys in the industry. Now that, nobody is checking for her because unfortunately we live in an ageist society that once a woman, is 30, somehow she's old and needs to just be thrown in the trash. Well, especially when you're talking about the sex industry, the celebrity industry, once they hit a certain age, they're not checking for her. They're not checking for Amber Rose. They're not checking for Black China. Hence why Amber Rose is out here being a super Trumper. You got Black China out here being a so-called super Christian, and Brittany Renner out here being a super Muslim. So remember the other day she was crying that she went broke after converting.
Sorry, Woo! Wow. Leaving me incredibly uncertain in just about every area in my life. I have no idea where I'm going to live or how I'm going to provide for my son. But Allah has moved mountains for me, and I trust that this will be no different. I feel like Alice when she ate the cookie and her feet went through the windows and she's crammed in the house like that. I've outgrown where I am. The facade is fading, alhamdulillah. And I'm at a place where I don't want anything that doesn't have my name on it. Take it away.
All right, ma'am. She says she's broke. Allah will provide. Get off my screen. That's why I don't take a lot of these celebrity changes. I take them with a grain of salt. So here goes Black China, who's now Christian, but then she's also going off and feels like she should be allowed to wear what she wants to wear. Again, you can't serve two masters, but it is what it is. Let's watch this. Because she was being questioned about why she's modeling for Fashion Nova.
Prime example, I'm sitting here, yes, I have a little thigh out, a little whatever top this is. You know what I mean? People need to understand that it's a relationship between me, God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And that's who all I have to answer to, and that's that.
Don't be deceived. True Christians follow the teachings of Yeshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, as found in the Old Testament of the Bible.
Okay, I didn't expect him to come on, but okay, sir. So again, and the list goes on. Let's see here. As recently, Little Dirk went viral not too long ago. Let me find that clip. He decided to just start praying. And I'm hearing that the tea I'm hearing on Lil Durk is that they might be getting him on a RICO for that FBD duck situation. So he's on live during the whole Muslim prayer, which to me, why is this being shown? Like, you're supposed to pray in private. You know what I'm saying? That's between you and Allah. Like, my mom is Muslim, so I'm talking from somebody who has a Muslim mother. My mom has never felt the need to be like, turn on the camera, T, so I can pray. Like, what? Now, we're not going to watch this whole prayer, but y'all get my drift. When I see people changing like that and publicly trying to make things public, I do have to question it. And it's no disrespect. That's just me having common sense and discernment. Because again, this man now has turned Muslim. This is Andrew Tate praying. So isn't it interesting that once these folks are in trouble, they run to religion? You know, like I said, people been saying that Lil Durk might be indicted soon. I don't know. I've been hearing that on, the Twitter streets. So now he's showing, all his Muslim religion and, praying. He wasn't doing that a few years ago when he was running the streets with King Von. Andrew Tate, a few years ago, you was talking about pimping hoes degrees. Now that the heat is coming down, you're taking us to the mosque. Don't take us to the mosque. Go to the mosque in private and go pray, go pray to Allah. Remember Kanye West. He's not above this either. Remember, Kanye was a super Christian not too long ago. Let's watch this video really quick. I like this guy. He makes good videos.
It's not often that we see someone go from such a bold and public proclamation of faith.
Now that God has called me and I now have given my life to Jesus Christ and I work for God, I'm just a Christian everything.
To the opposite extreme in just a couple of years.
So I'll be surprised that I'm still alive. How did you not disappear? Because I'm God.
He was recently pressed on his faith, and not only were some of his answers genuinely disturbing, but they also give us a cautionary tale of the sin of all sins, what it does to the soul, and why it's the only sin that will keep us from heaven. Let's talk about it. Now, first off, we have to realize that most of the disturbing things that Kanye said in this interview aren't necessarily new, just more extreme. If you go all the way back to 2008, before Kanye claimed to be a Christian, he made it clear why he rejected Christianity. He said things like, I don't believe in religion, and I don't believe in giving it all up to Jesus. And he also said, my whole life they're like, be Christ-like, be Christ-like. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be Christ-like. I want to be me-like. Now, if it wasn't already clear.
So, as you see, it just says a lot about like these celebs and what they're into and the selfishness. And once things aren't working for them, a lot of this stuff is a grift. Again, nobody's checking for Brittany Renner. So now she's playing, super Muslim woman. So a lot of this stuff is a grift, and it's sad. Because it wasn't too long ago that Kanye was also dropping a porn site. He was going to drop Yeezy porn. Let me play this video here.
Kanye West has announced that he is launching a porn studio
What in the world happened to him after he announced that he had become a born-again Christian just a few years ago? And what is going on in the music industry in general with the outright blasphemy and sacrilege that we are seeing from so many artists these days, as well as what's going on with artists like P. Diddy and the sex trafficking charges? Oh my goodness. We are talking about all of this and
All right, so that was just 5 months ago when Kanye made the big announcement that he was going to have a porn studio. He was going to start shooting porn. And then the Diddy raid happened. And we haven't really heard too much about the Yeezy porn since. All of these guys are big dick deviants. I don't care what people say. They're all big dick deviants at this point. They've all been involved in a bunch of nonsense. And unfortunately, money and power, it can corrupt if you allow it to. And I believe that is what happened with the Tate brothers. That's definitely what's happening to Diddy. That's what's happened to, to Kanye, because Kanye's also facing his own share of lawsuits as well. So on top of that, let me see what else was something else I wanted to play too. Okay, let's not forget when Diddy decided to convert to Brother Love. Again, they do this. They'll change personas. They'll become more woke. They'll turn Christian. They'll turn Muslim because they're running for themselves and they're trying to change. It's like every few years they got to change into something else, into whatever is hot. It's always some type of grift. So this is him talking about changing to Brother Love.
But you've changed your name to Love. So where does that fit into the name?
I think that out here in London, you could understand, David Bowie. I was always a fan of his, and he was able to give you different artistic personas. Yeah. But for me, this is actually my real life is my art, and so there's been different eras. So there's been the Puff Daddy era, the P. Diddy era. Then I dropped the P, then it was the Diddy era.
Yeah.
And now, this is the ultimate goal. I have become Love.
Okay. But do I call you Love? No.
I just can't even stand to watch him talk. He creeps me out. Them dark ass eyes. He just looks demonic. He looks high as hell. Just yuck. Call me Love. Nothing lovely about him. He's just trash. He's just a weirdo. But like I said, they love to switch up personas. So, just be careful who you follow. I don't care who it is. That's why I don't follow me. You know what I'm saying? I just be doing my thing. But just be careful, like all these people that y'all put on these pedestals and that y'all praise and swear up and down. And now it's like every other day there's a new story coming out. Somebody else is being attached to a Diddy party. Like, it's scary. It's really scary, all this stuff that's going on, because a lot of the things that are going on are very spiritual. A lot of this stuff is very dark. You're not just fighting against things in the physical. And I think with a lot of the truth that Jaguar Wright has been saying, that's what's bothering a lot of these people. Like I always tell y'all, the truth really be irritating people's demons. It really does. And that's what it seems like is going on in the industry right now. So now let's go ahead and get on this situation with Erica Mena and Safaree. Let me close out some of these screens here. All right. So about a week ago, Erica Mena was upset because she felt that Safaree, she was mad because Safaree was taking her to court to lower his child support payments. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys here. Give me just a second. Oh, you know what, actually? No. Okay. So, Safaree pleads for child support payments to Erica Mena to be lowered, no longer earning $61,000 a month. So that was the story. So this was about a week ago when that first came out. And then yesterday, then she was like arguing back and forth. She was dragging him on the shade room, saying that he's a deadbeat. He just doesn't want to pay child support. Let me see if I can find that other clip here. So after a while, Safaree has finally decided to come out and defend himself. So give me just a second. One of my clips is missing. Trying to see, she had this calendar on this clip. I don't know if I have it. Nope, I don't. But she had posted a calendar. It was on the Shade Room. And basically on that calendar, I think she said like the yellow days were when she had the kids and the orange days was when Safaree had the kids. And literally it looked like Safaree only had them kids 6 times in the entire year. So Safaree was really tired of her constantly bashing him and spinning her own narrative. He finally took to social media to blast Erica. We're not going to watch this whole story time. I've watched the whole thing. I'm not going to play it on my stream. We're going to watch maybe the first 8 minutes. This is extremely disturbing. It got Erica Mena looking crazy as cat shit too. Let's see here. There we go.
I don't even know where to start. But I'm putting everything out there because the fact that people, even whether you know me or not, there still has to be like a certain level of common sense when it comes to just being a judge of character. And this has nothing to do with TV at all, none of that. Like this is real life because kids are involved. And this deadbeat narrative, it's like, it's just so jarring to me. It does give me a headache sometimes, but then, I'm pretty good at just brushing things off. But, people who know me, and especially know my situation, they're like, yo, how long are you gonna stay quiet? And I just, I be sparing people. And then at the same time, it's like, yo, it's nobody's business, but I feel like everybody just feels like they know my business, and if it's reported, it's news, and that it's the truth and it's real. But I'm pretty sure that, there's some men out there who could relate to this. And when it comes to being a father in a co-parenting situation where somebody wants to have full control of every single thing and they can't have control, it's just not gonna be a easy transition. Especially when, the other person is just used to it being one way or very controlling or still wanting the whole family dynamic, and it's not there anymore. But I love my kids. And it's gotten to the point that I have to put myself first, because I'm either gonna end up in jail or worse, because I'm dealing with someone whose anger management is just non-existent. When I first moved to Florida, I remember I got a 2-bedroom condo, and the first time I had my kids come over there after my divorce, and I started the whole visitation, and having my kids for the days I was having them. When my kids first came over in my condo, it made me so depressed, because I was like, yo, I felt like they were so confined, and I didn't feel good about it. And I said, yo, I gotta get a house. I need a house. I can't have my kids running around in this condo and hurting themselves and just not being a fit to raise, two children in a co-parenting setup. And I found my house. And I'm gonna be all the way blunt and straight up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this house because of my kids. I got this house for my kids. Seeing my kids be here running around, it's the best feeling, you know? You know, when you have children with somebody who, at the end of the day, it shouldn't even have happened, because I should have just noticed certain things when it came to parenting. You know, when you're with someone for 3 years and they have a child, and you probably saw the child 3 to 4 times because the child was put off to go live with somebody else. And, you kind of look past it when you don't have kids or you're not thinking about that. I never even was like, yo, why doesn't your son live here? And then when you finally get to have a conversation with the son and find out why, it's crazy. Imagine speaking to a child who's of age and knows what's going on. He's 16 years old. And he says, if I ever had to live with my mother, I would kill myself. I wouldn't make that up,
Okay, let me jump in and say something here. The problem is, I remember when they first met, because they were on this VH1 horror show. I forgot the name of it, but I remember they first went on the horror show and he was smitten by her. La 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 Latina. He was smitten, okay? And she was smitten by him. They both, liked each other. But, at what point do people start looking and seeing red flags? Because when you meet somebody, right, of course there's going to be a physical attraction there. That's, that's a given. But you still have to, especially once you get to a certain age, if this were people in their 20s, I can understand. Because when you're young, you just don't know. You just fall for the physical and, what I'm saying, you add sex to it, your mind is blown. I get that. These people are dead. I think is he not 40? I might be wrong. But if he's not 40, he's damn near 40. Erica's in her late 30s. So at what point do we start looking and perceiving red flags? Because see, people are always going to send their representative, right? I've been in situations like that where somebody will send their representative and they seem like, okay, we got some things in common, seems like a nice person, seems real cool, hard worker. But then they say little shit and alarm bells start ringing out from my head. Especially when I see how they treat other people, their past relationships. You have to listen to alarm bells. And the thing is, it's not like Erica was just some random woman. Her history is on the internet. I have videos in my archives of Erica beating on her baby daddy on the street. Because I remember I did a video about that. Erica been wild and crazy. None of this stuff is new. But again, people become so smitten with people that they throw all common sense out the window. There's no way at my big age that I would have a baby with somebody who is not a good father. You have children by multiple women. You're not taking care of them. Why the fuck would I line up at my big age to be baby mama number 7 or 8? This is why I felt no ways about any of Future's baby mamas. You're an idiot. He's shown you time and time again that he's not going to be in these kids' lives consistently. Yet Eliza Reign ran to go be baby mama number 8 and then try to play victim. You don't get to play victim. Not when everything is put out there on the table. So if this woman did not even have her oldest child living with her because she felt it was more important to be on reality television and Love and Hip Hop and work at the Dash store with the Kardashians, then you should have just took this as we're just having fun. I'm just saying, we have to start seeing alarm bells and red flags and understanding that is your intuition. That is God speaking to you. Because people can tell you anything. But once you watch their actions and they say something that you are uncomfortable with, you cut it off. No explanation. Let's keep going.
And it sucks that I gotta like really just run this down because of this smear campaign and somebody who gets such a high on just talking about me and picking and choosing what kids you want to, you know, have on the forefront and get whatever extra attention you get off of it. You know, so I kind of just looked past certain things and thought that, you know, maybe I could help and make things better. But when you aren't with somebody and it doesn't work out and the two of you are just like in a weird space and everything is a fight.
Look how those babies are unfazed. Look how she pushed him and she's yelling and the babies are just looking like. They become so desensitized to her antics. They're unfazed. They're not crying. They're not trying to run to either parent. Those babies' actions to their interaction is sad.
Especially in front of the kids. Like, I'm not gonna subject myself to that. My kids have never, ever seen me upset. My kids have never heard me yell.
Bitch, you're dead to me. Yeah, you are too. You been dead. You're gonna leave me more than I need you. No. Leave before I need you. Remember that. Nice flow, Linda. Yeah, go ahead. You too, bitch. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because your other two kids are gonna be miserable just like you. Oh, fuck all of y'all. Go ahead. Jerk off. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. All of y'all. Go ahead. All because of you. All because of you. All because of you.
I don't argue. That's just not in me. But, you know, on the other hand, the other side, they don't operate or think the way I do. And when I have my kids and someone is pretty much trying to police and parent and like watch every single thing I'm doing and call, oh, who's there? Well, what's going on? It's just so unhealthy, so excessive, to the point where it just creates a lot of issues. Like, you can't pick and choose when it's okay to say, okay, the kids are good, and then if we're not, you know, in a good space, then it's a issue, you know? I've taken my kids to Jamaica. If I was such a bad parent, nobody's gonna let a man take the kids to Jamaica by myself. I didn't have no help, and I don't want a biscuit for it. I did it, you know? It just creates such a level of toxicity that it's better to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna deal with this through the courts, and when this thing gets sorted out how it's supposed to be sorted out, then, okay, we'll figure it out. So for the past, you know, few months, that's what I've been dealing with when it came to, you know, looking for lawyers and just trying to figure out this whole thing, because my original standing order for this child support and the visitation and all of that, everything, it originated from.
Chad, I'm getting sleepy. Sir, where's the part where she's climbing on the ladder? Because this is just too much talking. Give a shit about none of this. Let's see, is this the part? Trying to see like because he's putting little clips of like home video footage.
I don't move like that. I don't live like that.
Okay, that's the babies walking out behind her. She's not even holding their hand. She's just walking out. Okay, I guess. Trying to find the part where she's climbing the ladder looking like a White Walker. Is this the part? Okay, here's the part, because I'm tired of this long song and dance. I'm tired. Not off and shit. Okay, I think this is the part. All right, here we go. This bitch only got a ladder. I said, what is she doing? Climbing the wall? Bitch, is this Game of Thrones? Hell no. She only got her a ladder.
What is that?
Look at her. That's trespassing, ma'am. She's insane. Took a ladder to climb over his fence to go argue at the back of his patio. That is creepy.
Bang on my windows. My son's birthday party was like a month after that. No, like it was a while after that. And then when I went to the party, they said, hey, you want a restraining order, but you went to a party, she was there, so you must not be in that much fear. So I have to drop that case.
All right, bye. Bye, Safaree. We'll see you later, sir. Love you, Safaree. We're out. Yeah, this whole situation's a mess. So I put a poll in the chat, and the poll, if you guys see it, it's pinned in the chat. It says, do you believe him? Over 2,227 people, now 29, voted. 54% said yes, they believe Safaree. 46% said no. I'm going to end it now. I just ended the poll. So it's really half and half. Over 2,000 people voted. It's almost half and half. More people believe him than not believe him. So, of course, Erica responded to this. She wrote a bunch of stuff in the shade room. She also posted a video claiming that the children were hurt around Safaree. So let me see if I could pull this up here. Give me just a second. Okay. So this is sick and sad. Let me share this tab here. So it's on my Instagram page. This was after she climbed the ladder.
Daddy kicked him. My brother was too wet.
When was this?
And my daddy.
When you was with daddy?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw him fall off. I saw my daddy kicked him and fall off.
And who fell off?
And I was watching him while I fall off.
And did daddy, why did daddy kick him?
Because he got boo-boo.
Who got, Leggy got a boo-boo?
I need to tell my mommy he got boo-boo like that.
Wow. And this was in daddy's house?
Yes, that's not my daddy's, that's not my brother's father.
That's not your brother's father? Who said that?
Daddy.
Daddy? What did daddy do?
Daddy kicked him. My brother was too wet. Then he fell in the ground.
When was this?
And my daddy's
When you was with daddy?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw him fall off. I saw my daddy kicked him and fall off.
And who fell off?
And I was watching him while I fall off.
And did daddy, why did daddy kick him?
Because he got boo-boo.
Who got, Leggy got a boo-boo?
I need to tell my mommy he got boo-boo like that.
Wow. And this was in daddy's house?
Yes, that's not my daddy's, that's not my brother's father.
That's not your brother's father? Who said that?
Daddy.
Daddy? What did daddy do?
Child, first of all, it sounds like coaching to me. I'm going to just keep it real with you. Because if her child was really being abused, I mean, the girl conversation and stories all over the place. It's like she's trying to remember what to say. And then her saying that the brother is not, you know, that's not the father's child. That sounds like something that Erica Mena would say. The problem is, if this abuse situation that she's saying that the daughter is blasting Safaree that she was abused, then why have you been fighting for the past 2 years on social media? Anytime you see Safaree having a good time, anytime you see him on a date, anytime he even breathes, you need to take care of your kids. You need to come see your kids. You don't spend any time with your kids. Well, which one is it? If he's an abusive father and he's an ain't shit father, why do you want him to spend time with the children so bad? It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't want him around my children if he's that terrible of a person. So something ain't clean in the buttermilk. I think at this point, I think Safaree was pushed to his wit's end. Regardless if you believe him or not, let's keep it real. The main person who's been talking all these years and blasting him, cussing him out, throwing tantrums, has been Erica. Safaree hasn't said anything. He's taken those hits on the chin and kept it moving. But at some point, you know, I guess he just decided to snap and do a whole story time and get teary-eyed. I do believe a lot of what Safaree's saying, but I also believe that they both provoke each other. I don't think neither one of them are fully innocent. He's like, I don't like to argue. Well, that's fine. That doesn't mean that you're fully innocent. You know, she's definitely a hothead, but it's clear that he may do some things to push her to that point as well. But I think using the kids as pawns is insane. The fact that Erica would sit there and throw a vase and throw stuff around with her children present is insane. What if glass broke and it hit the babies? What if something bounced back off the floor and hit the babies? It just doesn't make any sense. And then my thing is, if he's so violent, he's such a horrible person, why are you sitting here bringing a ladder? This bitch done put a ladder in her truck, brought it to the back of his fence, and hopped over his fence. When a person is abusive and crazy, you're not going to want to play with crazy. You're going to go the opposite way. You're not going to be running towards crazy. So I think they both need to they need to separate at this point, and everything needs to be done through the courts. They need to have a family liaison, a guardian ad litem, who needs to be there and figure out the whole visitation thing. Because now that they brought it to social media, it's gotten really ugly. Now there are allegations being levied, and the whole thing is just insane. But again, this is what happens when you fall in lust. Because neither one of them were in love. They were in lust. Because Safaree's hung like a motherfucking shit. Y'all need to call Safaree third leg. Okay? We all know he's hung like a damn giraffe. You know, he was in love with Erica Mena. She's a beautiful girl. So they fell in lust. And then they try to make lust turn into love by getting married and having these kids. But it just wasn't there. The lust is only going to take you so far. Because relationships are going to have their ups, their downs, their good and their bad. It's all the other nuances in a relationship that will determine if you guys are going to be able to make it or not. If it's just the sex that's botched all together, that okay. And then after that's said and done, you still hate that person. So I think people should take this situation as a cautionary tale. And to understand that when you see red flags, regardless if it's in a man or a woman, you need to haul ass. It's that simple. So now, last but not least, because it's almost been 2 hours since I've been on here, y'all asked me to talk about Gucci third leg. We're going to talk about that. Let me read these super chats here before I move on to that. Oh, my screen just refreshed. Okay. V Atanda sent $9.99, says, hey T, hope you're well. Just showing love from the UK. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, love. To Asia, Julie says, damn T, you look good. Had to let you know. I'm currently studying for the LSAT. We'll catch the playback. Love you, T. Love you too, and thank you, and good luck on your test as well. Buttercup Batty sent 999 says, would you ever do a deep dive into the Church of Scientology and their connection to half of Hollywood, Danny Masterson and Ashton Kutcher? Not really. I know a lot about it because I've done my own research. I don't know if I would spend hours deep diving into Scientology. My deep dives have to be something I'm interested in. I'm just not interested in them because there's so many other stories and videos and documentaries on Scientology. I would probably deep dive. I'd probably have more fun deep diving into Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis and their nonsense and that whole organization, you know, where he was like helping to protect children who were trafficked. I'd probably have more fun with that than the Church of Scientology itself, but I'll definitely keep that in mind. So thank you. L. Kane sent $10. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Let's see here. Camille Stevens says, hey T, I was told that when an ex threatens to off themselves, contact the police to give a wellness visit, never contact them again. That makes sense. Thank you for the super chat, love. Bianca Gutierrez sent $49.99, says, hey T, just wanted to say thank you for the great work. Also, please give your girl a heads up when you add the Jay-Z pop-up. Got me laughing hard and looking crazy at work. Love you too, and thank you so much for the super chat. That Jay-Z pop-up is funny. That pop-up always makes me laugh. Like, where the hell is Jay-Z? They made a whole sketch of Jay-Z while looking for him. Let's see here. Day 5 says, I want to change my vote. That is funny. Let's see here. Taisha Butler sent 5 says, it's ironic how Erica said in 2022 Safaree was a pedophile, but is still sleeping with him and vice versa, apparently. Wow, I didn't know she said that. That's not a good look at all. King Kappa says, Jag was on 5150's show and mentioned you. Longtime tea sipper, peace and blessings. Oh, I didn't know she mentioned me on there. What did she say? Hopefully good stuff. Hopefully she wasn't cussing me out. But no, that's what's up. I only saw a small bit of the interview. And I was going to go back and rewatch the rest. So I'll check it out. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Somebody else said something. DR Monet says, hey T, I've been watching you since high school. Me and my daughter watch you together. Happy 1 million. Praying for many more blessings. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Okay. Corrine Rodriguez sent $4.99. She says, off topic, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jocelyn Hernandez cabaret show was a way to sex traffic women, to Stevie J, and then to Diddy. Love you. Wow. That's a good point. You know, they've been saying Zeus Network, you know, there's a lot of dirt going on there with the girls, the baddies, and, you know, them going to Dubai and selling themselves. So, Stunner Girl, she was spilling a lot of that tea, that a lot of the girls on that show were having sex with security and, you know, having sex with celebs and stuff like that. So I would not be shocked at all. So thank you for that. So let's go ahead and talk about this last story. This man named Gucci Third Leg. And let me keep it real with you. I've never heard of any of these people. I don't go on to OnlyFans. I know I have some OnlyFans tea sippers who have sent me their links and asked me to join their OnlyFans. You know, bless your heart. I'm just not going to pay $5.99 a month to watch you jack off. I'm just not interested. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to knock it, but I'm not interested in watching. If I want to watch porn, I'll just go to Pornhub. Let's just keep it real. I'm not going to go to OnlyFans. But, so I don't know any of these people. I don't go on OnlyFans. So some young girl came out and said this man named Gucci Third Leg, he's a Nigerian man. I guess at one point in time, he slept with 3,000 people. He dated Diamond the Body, who was one of the baddies on Baddies Caribbean. So she came out and said that he gave her HVS2. A lot of folks were confused. They're like, what the hell is HVS2? You know, with the internet, you got to speak in layman's terms. Just say he gave you herpes, okay? Just say he gave you the herpes. We don't need the medical term. So let's go ahead and watch what she had to say about the situation. And I'm going to give my commentary on these people.
I'm just gonna say, yes, he gave it to me. It's devastating to have to come on here and share that whenever I was 19 years old, Gucci third leg burned me with HSV2. And he told me that he was gonna send me his test results, and he never did. And it saddens me to hear that he's done this to so many girls. And there's girls with so many similar stories to me, and they're so young as well. He is preying on the young, he is preying on the new. And I'm so sorry for not saying this 7 months ago. I was scared, and I was making so much money. I can't keep beating around the bush because you guys think I'm lying.
You weren't scared. You were making so much money. That's the tea. You were making so much money. Now that the money has slowed down, now we want to be a herpes advocate. Let's continue.
And he can't ruin anybody else's life. I didn't know what he was known for. I didn't know who he was. I didn't do my research. And it is my fault.
Okay. So that was the young girl. She went viral. So she's on OnlyFans. Her video is longer than that. That was the short version, because then she goes on to say that he had open sores on his peen, and he told her that he had cut himself shaving, and she proceeded to sleep with him. Okay. This is my issue with this whole situation, is that when grown folks tell y'all stuff, y'all remember for a long time I said all this stuff is just a mess. People are promoting promiscuity, promoting being a hoe. It's just, I'm getting my bag. Anybody who called this out was jealous. Remember, I was called sex negative when I was calling out Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. I said, you guys have young fans. You guys are a married couple. You guys are couple goals to young fans. Why are you going onto a national broadcasted syndicated show like The Breakfast Club and bragging about busting bitches down and bringing bitches back home with y'all? And I called it out. And I was a fan of Tiana Taylor. But that whole little hobo threesome tour turned me off from her and Iman. Now we fast forward years later. Did the threesomes keep them? Now she's crying about, he's crying about child support and all this foolishness. See, a lot of y'all like to brag about shit and act like there's no consequences to sex. These are some of the consequences when you're out here doing OnlyFans and you're not. Why would you not get the test results before engaging in sex? That defeats the purpose. So you get burnt, then you ask for his test results. You're supposed to ask for that first before you proceed to have sex with him. But again, when you talk common sense like this, y'all will be in the comments saying that I'm victim shaming. No, I'm not victim shaming her. I feel bad for her because that is going to change the trajectory of her life. But we also have to talk in layman's terms, and we also have to keep it real. See, a lot of y'all only see the bag, and that's the problem. And when anybody says anything, y'all are quick to call people haters, broke, jealous, ugly, when that's not the case. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to sell pussy. That you don't have to go to school for that. Anybody can start an OnlyFans, get some homeboys and say, hey, run a train on me, we'll all get paid. This is not rocket science. This is not like going to school to be a doctor or physician. So you guys are not doing anything that has never been done. There's nothing new under the sun. But if you're going to move that way, you also have to use common sense. There are real consequences to having raw sex with people that you don't know and that you haven't vetted. And one of those consequences are STDs and STIs and unwanted pregnancy. And when people say this, we're old-fashioned, as if y'all are doing some new shit that we've never heard of and that people weren't doing back in the day. See, y'all got OnlyFans. Back in the day was Backpages, Craigslist, and even before then it was the Holstro. See, the Holstro has moved to the internet. And y'all try to switch it up and say, oh, it's sex work. No, you guys are prostitutes. You're prostituting yourself for a bag. And now that you've gotten the consequences of chasing a bag, now you're crying. So, let me play some other, y'all Y'all remember the whole stroll? Bitch, I ain't that old. That's what they called it back in the day. So now let's go ahead and hear what Gucci third leg has to say. Because then she ended up going on a show as well. So Gucci third leg, this is just a snippet. He went to go get interviewed by Aiden Ross because supposedly one of the girls that Aiden Ross was smashing is also OnlyFans chick who had also smashed Gucci third leg. You can't make this shit up. So this is him on Aiden Ross.
Even with the whole concert situation, like, I'm done with everything.
Oh, so you're retiring as a
Retiring. Gucci's third leg is retired. I'm done with everything. Cause for one, it's like, man, like when I first got into concert, like I was doing it, you know what I'm saying, like just for, you know what I'm saying, like for the money, of course, and you know what I'm saying, like just for the excitement it brought me at work. Even with the whole concert situation, like
So he's saying that he's quitting porn. Well, are you really quitting because of your own volition? Or are you quitting because you have the herpes and nobody else wants to get burnt? Well, let's not act like you're doing the world a favor. You're quitting because your name is out here in these streets. Okay? So you have no choice but to quit now. This was him not too long ago bragging. Just disgusting. But yet, she's saying that she didn't know this man's background, but he went viral for this video along with Diamond the Body. So let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say here.
My body count was like 3,100, but I was really, I didn't feel too bad about it because my ex-chick Diamond the Body had like 2,000 or whatever, but so it was like when I was dealing with my chick, she couldn't really be like, oh, your body count's too much because her body count like 2,000. My body count like 3,000, so it's like, damn, like I didn't feel too bad about it, honestly. Last year my body count was like 3,100, but I was.
Did y'all hear that? He said his body count was 3,100. Diamond the Body, who has bragged about her body count being 2,700. This is my thing. Do I believe that Diamond has slept with over 2,700 men? Not really. Do I believe that he slept with over 3,000 women? Not really. But the fact that they're putting it out there, do y'all understand the games that are being played? They're trying to promote promiscuity. They're trying to normalize this as normal behaviors. That you can sleep with 3,000 people and come out of that unscathed. No, the fuck you can't. Not only are you having over 3,000 people's soul ties in you, you're also risking STDs, unwanted pregnancy. But see, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to normalize this to the youth. So maybe his body count is not really 3,000. It's probably closer to maybe 200. But let me over-exaggerate to normalize this to the up-and-coming kids. So that way they don't have any self-respect for themselves and they think it's normal to have a high body count. And not understanding that every time you sleep with somebody, you're exchanging souls with them. You're exchanging soul ties with them. And sometimes that can drive you crazy mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because you've let all these random guys nut inside you. So I think it's disgusting that him and Diamond even promote this. Like it's okay, like it's normal. So I don't feel bad for him if he has the claps. Shit, that's the consequences of sleeping with 3,000 fucking people, bitch. Now let's go back to, I think she's talking about some proof or something. Child, all these people get on my nerves. Let's go ahead and watch this.
So I want you to see hepatitis B. So we're going to go to HSV 1 and 2. I was still negative.
Got it.
For both.
Got it.
3/1/2024. Gucci, if you get that positive result tomorrow, you did not get it from me, boo. Respectfully. But
how much do you trust that he's going to his private physician rather than like, you know, one of these, you know, industry standards? He said he's going to a private physician, so he's going to have to share his results rather than, you know, something that could be verified, or something that's more industry standard. What's your thoughts about that?
Who's guilty, Jack?
my thoughts is he's been literally
Somebody's guilty.
documented as a liar. Like there are numerous accounts saying that he's lied to people's faces. So I don't trust him in the slightest bit. Not a word that this man says anymore. I will ever believe unless I, one, have proof from not only him, but a third party that has nothing to do with his personal life. Nothing. That is the only time I will believe that anything that comes out of his mouth. I know that I from this man.
Danae, are you going to continue to be doing OnlyFans and content like that, to that matter? Are you going to continue to do so even though you tested positive for HSV2? I just want to know, what does the future look like for you?
So as far as collaborations, I've stopped for months. The last collaboration that I had was with Touch Money V a couple months ago. I think it was about 3 months ago. I have not done an actual sexual collaboration in a couple months. I do not plan on continuing collabs. I do plan on keeping my OnlyFans up, and I may drop content if I choose to, but that is now something that I do want to leave behind. Because it has caused some trauma in my life. And I also...
Can I ask you about that last collab? You said the last collab with Touch Money V, that was after you reportedly contracted the virus. Were you upfront with him and saying, hey, listen, I got this? Or did you not know yet? And he was okay with it?
I was completely aware that I had HSV, and not only that, I was telling people. By the time that I came in contact with Touch Money V, he was already mutual friends with people who were talking about it in front of him, that I caught HSV2 from Gucci. So he hit me up in my DM, texted me, telling me that he wanted to collab with me, and he was like, but I have a couple questions. I didn't even tell him about my HSV2 diagnosis. He asked me, hey, I heard this.
This girl, get her off my screen. He collabed with you because he also has it. Just the lack of common sense and awareness. Yeah, that's why he collabed with you, because he also 9 times out of 10 has it too. But yeah, so that is the story of Gucci third leg, this girl, Danae Davis. Y'all take this as a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell y'all, everything that glitters is not gold. Just because, you know, there's a bag to be had, all money is not good money. And this is proof of that. And again, this is not to knock sex work, because again, what 2 consenting adults choose to do, that is their business. But you don't then get to, I'm grown, I can fuck who I want to fuck on camera and get a bag, and I'm rich and I'm stunting. But then when shit don't work, then you want to come crying to the internet. Well, that's part of being grown. If you're grown enough to fuck, you're grown enough to get the consequences behind that. Whether it's unwanted pregnancy or unwanted STD. That's just the truth of the matter. So people need to move smart. And before you sleep with somebody, you should be going to get tested together. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the test results. Because like somebody said in the chat, test results can be faked. And if you're in that type of industry, y'all should be going to the doctors together. Why not? There's not a deadline on shooting a scene. It's not like you guys are in, what was that place in the valley that used to shoot porn? Because they used to shoot a lot of porn in the valley back in the day in California. So it's not like you guys are on a schedule. You guys are working for yourselves. Y'all are OnlyFans entrepreneurs. So you guys can schedule a sex session when you guys are ready to. Meaning that y'all could have went and got tested together. Now, with the HVS2, I just call it herpes. But with that, you don't necessarily get tested for that unless there's a breakout. So people need to understand that as well. So you're really playing Russian roulette when you're out here just smashing multiple people with no commitment. And I'm not saying that you can't be in a committed relationship and the person could cheat on you and bring you back something. That happens as well. But you're going to be far more at risk if you're just sleeping with 2,000 people. That makes you far more at risk than if you're just sleeping with one person and you're not engaging in this stuff. So, again, the whole thing is sad. It's really sad. The Gucci third leg said he's quitting porn. Well, I don't think you have a choice. I mean, your name is burnt up out here. And my thing is, if he had that, he should have been honest with her and let her make a decision on if she wanted to proceed. But we also, as young men and women, have to use common sense. If you are looking at somebody, they have an open sore, you don't want to sleep with them. That should be common sense. Oh, you cut yourself? Okay, well, bitch, sounds like you won't be getting none today. Because again, what if it wasn't herpes? What if it was HIV? You know what I'm saying? So you got, I mean, it could get that serious. So you got to use common sense. It could have been an even deadlier disease. And I think right now, a lot of stuff is being promoted as, you know, it's a way to get quick money, but nobody's talking about the consequences. They're just talking about the money. So I don't know. The whole thing is just really, it's really unnerving, but I wish her the best. And I hope she ends up finding something else to do with her life. I mean, she's a beautiful girl. Hopefully she'll be able to find something else better than just, you know, selling herself on OnlyFans, because yeah, she's getting clout right now and she's on, you know, Aiden Ross's stream and talking to DJ Academics, you know, who people be talking about as well. With he has his own little issues going on too. But once the clout dies down, what's next? And that's what she needs to figure out. So with that being said, you guys, I think I read all the super chats. If I missed a super chat, I apologize. Let me think, there's a few more. Hold on. Phoenix Black says she's not a victim, she's a volunteer. Damn. Kept it real. Kept it real. Let's see here. Chrissy says the Jezebel spirit has taken over the youth. I agree. And that's why I say, and a lot of that is being promoted by celebrities and influencers. Because again, when you speak out against it, you're the bad guy. But that's why I can always stand in my truth and go back with receipts. Like I told y'all, this is not going to keep Iman Shumpert. Oh, you're hating. Let them do them. Now they're both on the internet crying and demonizing each other. So it's not cute. Again, do what you want to do. I don't care about people bringing people into their bedrooms to have threesomes. You know what I'm saying? As long as people of age. But my thing is when you're trying to promote it, like that's the next step in a relationship, or that's how you keep your marriage fresh. No, you're being disingenuous. That's not how you keep your marriage fresh. That's not the next step in a relationship. Just say you're a freak and you just want to just fuck a lot of people. Just like Dusties who talk about, you know, oh, you know, be one of my wives and polygamy and all that stuff. Just say you want to fuck a bunch of people. Don't try and make it cute and wrap it up in a bowl like it's something different. No, just say you like to fuck and you like to be with multiple people. You know, people could just be honest about their intentions. I would respect that. Than trying to remix what marriage is. Marriage is something that you do before God, and that's something, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible, between a man and a woman before God. But now people be like, oh, well, I'm married, but we broke up for a bit. I didn't know you could break up while you're married. Remember Natalie and her husband, when she was fucking the dude that was on the Bad Boys show, and her whole thing was, well, me and my husband took a break. What? You don't get to take a break in marriage. You either get a divorce and be done with the marriage. You don't just get to take a break. It's not a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. And that's the problem. Marriage doesn't mean anything anymore. People just, you know, call it for what it is and swing and just do what they want to do. And then we sit here and cry about why the youth have Jezebel spirits and why the youth think it's okay to sleep with 3,000 people and see nothing wrong with that. So it's sad. Let's see here. Jennifer Jarvis says, T, I've been a tea sipper forever now. I just want to show you love. Keep speaking the truth. I will catch the playback. God bless. You are so welcome. Thank you for the support and the love. It means a lot to me. This has been a wonderful stream. I really appreciate y'all. Tyler says, thank you for speaking the truth and keeping it real as always. A lot of us young people can learn. You are so welcome. And that's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? I think that once you get to a certain age, you have an obligation to steer young people in the right direction. Nobody's perfect, of course, right? But I'm not going to tell you something that I wouldn't do myself or something that's going to harm you because, again, I'm a parent. So I wouldn't want somebody steering my own children in the wrong way. And it's sad that you have so many people who are adults who are in positions to do something positive with younger people, and instead they want to pimp them out, put them on OnlyFans, Andrew Tate and them, you know, fucking with these little young girls, having them do escort and you know, cam work. It's sad. It's really sad how many young people are out here being taken advantage of. And a lot of that is because you have a lot of older, bitter people. They didn't accomplish what they wanted to accomplish in life. They see their life passing them by, so now they want to ruin your life. And you got to be able to see that. You got to be able to see those evil spirits in people who are not happy for you. They want to steal your joy. They want you to be miserable just like them. Because somebody who wants the best for you is going to try and steer you in a positive direction. They're not going to turn you on to drugs. They're not going to turn you on to selling yourself. They're not going to turn you on to doing things that can harm you. They're going to want you to do even better than they ever could accomplish, than they ever could do. So you got to, like, as young people, you got to, like, really understand the games that are being played and understand that everybody does not want the best for you. Some people just want to use your youth. They want to use your connections. That is Diddy. Diddy is an energy vampire. That man is in his late 50s, running around with a Carisha, trying to get in good with girls who are City Girls fans, hanging with his son. Him and his son, Justin, they both had Lori Harvey. Why would you not be teaching your sons to do better in life? Again, straight up evil. SB Icardi, I hope I said that right. Says, hey T, loving the long life. Society always tells women to respect themselves, but this is not taught to men. They need to respect their bodies as well. I agree 100%. And I'm a boy's mom. You know what I'm saying? And I speak to them just like if I had a daughter, like, respect yourself. That shit's not cute. I don't know when men thought it was okay. Like, I'm sorry, as a woman, I don't want to date a male whore. If I find out that you've been with everybody and their mama, that's a turnoff to me. I don't want to walk into a room and everybody can say they've been with my man. If I walk into a room with my man and everybody in that room can be like, oh, I've been with her, I've had her, I expect the same. So a lot of guys think that it's okay to be out here just sleeping with any and everybody. It's not okay. It's disgusting. A lot of men out here having all these kids with different women, that's not cute. That's not attractive. Just like it's not okay for women to be out here having babies by, 7 different men. Women get clowned for that. Nobody's going to wife that type of woman up. So why, if it's a woman who has herself together, why should I have to dumb down my standards and date a man who has, 6 kids by 5 different women? Fuck out of here. You need to go get with that woman who has 7 kids by 7 different men, and then y'all can just be the Brady Bunch. I want no parts. So I think that both men and women need to have standards and stop letting low vibrational people shame you because you have standards for yourself. Let them be low vibrational. Let them be out there doing all types of weird stuff. And you keep elevating. So on that note, you guys, I think I preached enough. I've been on here for over 2 hours. I'm out. I need a break. I need dinner. I haven't even eaten. We had over 12,000 people in here. Wow. That's amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed this live. Sorry if your feelings got hurt. I just keep it real. What you see is what you get, So thank you guys for coming through. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. Make sure I have everything set. All right, y'all. I love you guys. I will see you guys later. Everybody have a good evening. Bye.